This is the voice of freedom. We are not one voice. We are many. We are your voice. But we can only be effective if you use your voice. Your voice. This is the voice of freedom. We will not hide from the truth. We will ask the hard questions until we are sure we have the truth. Welcome to the voice of freedom, where your voice will never be silenced.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. It's a bit of a special one this Saturday night, I've got to say. It's not often that we get too many people together on a Saturday night that want to come out and have a chat. Speaking of people coming out and having a chat, last night, what a great night we had, the Friday Free-for-All. I think we're going to do it more often. Dave Guru and a whole heap of other guests dropped in, spent a little bit of time with us. We might have something a bit more special to announce about next Friday night. I'll say something about that at the end of the show. But if you are in New South Wales, more particularly if you are south of Sydney or southern Sydney and you feel you might want to go to Shell Harbour, maybe, we might be able to help you out with a show next Friday night down that neck of the woods. Now, obviously, a topic dear to all our hearts has been for the last few months our good friend Simeon Boykoff, the Aussie Cossack, who has been held in custody after attending a rally, saying some words and having a police attend at his house. It's been a long, laborious process for Simeon and his family. And I must say tonight I am really overjoyed to be able to welcome a lady who I've had a lot of contact with off the air, but this is the first time I think that she's ever come out and spoken in public with any of us in the movement. So thank you very much for that, ladies and gentlemen. Please put your hands together. Welcome, send cheering in the chats, whatever you do, for the lovely Mrs Cossack, who joins us this evening. How are you, Katya?
Hello, Carl. Yeah, considering the circumstances, but tomorrow I'll see Simeon for the first time in 2 months in the morning. It will be 9 a.m. It will be sharp 30 minutes of a video visit. It will be video visit. At the last minute, we changed it. They changed it to a video visit. So at least that.
So that will be the first time in 2 months that you've actually seen him.
Yes. Even the sentencing.
Wow.
Yes, even the sentencing. Even though I was in the courtroom, but it was through AVL that we applied for Section 77 that allows us to actually have Simeon there in courtroom, but they blame everything on COVID ward, and they didn't even bring Simeon to the courtroom on the 30th of June?
May, was it? June. Sorry, beg your pardon. Yeah, June.
Yeah, we had bail application on 30th of May, and then we had sentencing on 30th of June. And it was sentencing through AVL. It's unprecedented. It's not normal. Never ever in history anyone was sentenced through AVL. If there were some cases that run through AVL, it's not normal. So everything that somehow connected to this case or somehow related to this case is not normal from the very first second till this second now.
You've had, well, let's go back to the beginning without leaping ahead. You weren't home when the police called and arrested Simeon that day, were you?
Yeah. I was at work. Actually, note I work Monday to Friday, so
Sure.
yeah, I was at the.
So how did you
office.
get notified?
I was
How
at
did
the
you
office.
get told
No.
what had happened?
It's very interesting story. I was on the way back home from the office, and I was going up the stairs, and I opened the door. Opened the door and to the apartment hall, and I saw police officers. I saw Simeon in handcuffs being arrested, and I was shocked. I was absolutely terribly shocked. And I was
Yeah.
like, what's happening here, guys? Like, what happened? Because I had no idea that, absolutely terribly no idea what on earth could happen at this time, and why Simeon is arrested at this time, because we had many arrests before, prior that, on absolutely strange grounds.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was like, yeah, just hurry up,
Oh,
and if you can just give me some instructions regarding personal stuff, and then come to Burwood police station and pick me up in a few hours, as it always happened before, as we all know, right? And this didn't happen. I I don't know, I waited till 12 p.m., 1 a.m.
yeah, right.
there, the police
Yeah.
station. And yeah, the legal team were there, the solicitor, the barrister, they all came to the police station. And yeah, we had the bail refused by the police on 16th of May in police station, and we had our bail.
What were the grounds the police gave? Do you remember for refusing his bail on the 16th? Did they have reason for it? I mean,
because
nothing that was
people
real
were
at any rate.
people were calling the police station, and everyone who supports Simeon and everyone who supports me, they were calling and asking about Simeon's welfare, but it
They took
made
that the
police
wrong way, didn't they?
yeah, it's actually, yeah, it was very
So I remember. Let me explain that to folks. What happened? I think in the very final minutes of Simeon's life, as he was being arrested, the police gave the phone number to the Burwood police station to him, so he could tell the live stream the phone number, and said, "Look, ring the Burwood police station, tell them that
exactly.
how unfair you think this is." So I don't think the Burwood police station were quite ready. They received literally thousands of phone calls. Some of those phone calls I don't think were terribly polite. I recall one person ringing me and telling me how proud they were of a mate who had a factory, and he got every worker in his factory to ring the police station and ring with that number. And a lot of them gave the police, whoever answered the phone, a good mouthful. And while that made everybody feel pretty good, it actually resulted in a separate charge for him, didn't it?
It was a third charge, yeah, use of miscarriage, and it was withdrawn
Yeah.
withdrawn the next day, yeah.
Oh, it was withdrawn the next day.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
withdrawn
good.
the next day, yeah.
Yeah, because I was going to say it's pretty hard when the police gave him the actual direct line themselves live.
Exactly.
Yeah, pretty hard to prove that he incited anything. I would have thought. Okay, so it was a shock then that he didn't get bail because, as you said, he's had plenty of arrests in the past where it's resulted in a couple of hours in a cell, a slap on the wrist. Well, not a slap on the wrist. He goes through, gets all the paperwork. He still has other charges pending at the moment at the Dowling Centre Court, which I think are related to mask wearing and being in a
COVID.
public place without permission or whatever. Yeah,
Mhm.
COVID, things. So, but this they treated very differently, and they almost, well, I don't think it almost, they have played hardball with him. You have had some telephone communications with him. Uh, so he's holding up pretty well, you say. He's very happy personality. He's still a bit buoyant.
Yes, very, very high spirits, and he's very positive. Absolutely, he's extremely strong, guys. Like I cannot imagine. I'm here feeling much worse than Simeon. He's in there because it's just his character. He's truly it's impossible to break him. It's impossible. I'm telling you, there is no way anyone can hurt him or break his spirit. It's impossible. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm talking to Simeon over the phone. It's sharp 6 minutes, and then the line just cuts off. Only he can call me. I cannot call him, and It for first 3 weeks we couldn't talk at all, no contact at all, nothing. I was desperate. I was just terrible time, worst time in my life. And apparently
Yes.
after a long and exhausting fight, it was extremely tough to fight for all the rights who one should be granted without any explanations. We must fight for everything literally.
Yeah. Yeah. Every step of the way, they have made it very hard, even to a minimum 6-month sentence, which is extremely harsh, given other sentences for similar, in fact, exactly the same crime, in inverted commas. So, yeah, that's, well, I've got to say I'm not terribly surprised, because Simeon did such a good job of pointing out the inadequacies or the stupidity or the ineptness or the duality of what the police force were doing. And then, of course, he turned his attention to Fiona Martin, who happened to be the member for Reed, where you guys were living. When you passed on, or when he found out that Fiona Reed had lost the election, can you tell me, did he have much of a reaction to that? Was he, did he, I think he should rightly take some responsibility for that.
Actually, yes. Everyone who I talked to said that it's Siemens' influence on the federal election. It was his, I don't know, win or lose. I don't know what to mention here, but
Yeah.
apparently yes. And also yes, this NSI and EHRI statuses that been designated to him, they controlled under the Justice New South Wales. It was introduced by Inspector of Custodial Services, and apparently only people who convicted or charged with offences against national security can be granted these statuses. And contravening suppression order is not a national security offence, and still it's just unexplainable.
Where does that come
why
from?
he was
So,
granted. Maybe because of the influence on the federal elections. I don't know.
yeah, the national security classification I find very interesting. The fact that they've given him a national security classification, interest classification. Well, all Simeon was doing was giving alternative news sources sourced internationally airtime on his channel. He wasn't making up the news. He was simply, well, in many cases, I think what he was doing was translating what was being said on screen and explaining what was being said. Now, that isn't providing misinformation. That is simply saying, well, this is what the Russians are saying at the moment. And clearly, there is and has been a lot of different stories coming out of Ukraine and out of the Russian conflict. There is no doubting which side of it that Simeon was on, but let's be absolutely clear. I was on the same side, and so are many other people. The only difference between Simeon Boykov and so many of us is that he actually understood what the Russian generals were saying as they said it and didn't have to wait for a translator. That is the only difference. So
Exactly.
for him to be treated the way that he has means that we stand a good chance of being treated like that too. And I'm very sorry that this is, his treatment, aside from the reasons why he's in there, the treatment he has received in there from the justice system is extremely harsh, extremely harsh. However, I am led to believe, not that I know too many crims who are in New South Wales and who will sneak me silent information or sneaky information, but I'm told that inside he is regarded very highly. And even though he has been, for the most part, kept in segregation for the last 2 months, only recently, the last few days or so, being released out of that and will get you to explain further what sort of situation he's in now shortly. How did Simeon deal, with the segregation and all that in the last couple of months? So you said he's very strong, you can't break him. You also pointed out, I think, in one of your videos, he is writing a book and taking pre-orders in August at some stage. So, all right, let us in on that a little bit. Tell us what's going on there.
Yeah, so once Simeon got in segregation, it's a solitary confinement. It's basically a single cell. He started writing a book. The book's title will be NSI, National Security Interest, The Untold Story of the Aussie Cossack. That will be
Wonderful.
the title of the book. And he
NSI.
got NSI, National Security Interest.
I like that. NSI, National Security Interest, The Untold Story of the Aussie Cossack.
Yes.
Well, that's going to be a story a lot of people are going to be very, very interested in reading. I am absolutely sure.
Yes.
So we've heard that the postcards are not being delivered at the moment because there are simply too many of them for the poor prison officers to carry. Is that the story?
Yes, in Silverwater he got literally thousands of postcards brought to him every single day. Because of his status, national security interest status, all of the postcards got scanned, photocopied, and he receives them in photocopied versions, right?
Okay, right.
Yeah. And also, when he got moved to Long Bay Correctional Facility, they told because of lack of staff, they cannot process that much. Postcards and letters of support, and just giving a few of them every day to him. He is very happy. He was very happy to receive all of them in Silverwater. So very, very thankful for these guys. Very thankful.
So the message is to still keep sending postcards to the Aussie Cossack, or should we rest for a while in case the police officers? Well, what do they do with the ones that they don't process? Do you know? Are they holding on to them for him for his release?
They just store all of them, process, and slowly handing over to him a few of them. So by the time he gets released, they will just hand over all of them to Simeon. And yes, he wishes the postcards to be
Keep
sent
coming.
to the same address, which is Logbag 25, Montreal.
There we go. We'll throw it up on the screen. So there you are, folks. If you would like to send the Aussie Cossack a postcard, that is the address. Do not forget that MIN number. It's very important. It's also important that you put an return address and a name on there. That would be our suggestion to make sure that he gets it. It would be very exciting to see that pile of postcards waiting for him at the end. It will be absolutely amazing. I'm really looking forward to that. Let me just have a look through here and just see if there's any questions. Folks, if you've got any questions for Mrs. Cossack, you can write them in the chat. I've got about two that I'm keeping a bit of a look on here, but if you've got a question, flag it, let me know. You've had two legal teams, as far as I'm aware, without going into too much detail. I know that you and I were having some conversations, particularly after the first legal matter started to be heard, and there were some issues there that wound up being a reason I think that Simeon decided to replace his counsel then and employ new counsel. Are you happy with the way new counsel has performed, their duties in getting the result that you've got for him so far?
He's still fighting. Look, it's an everyday fight, and I'm in contact with the barista on daily basis. Literally, from 8 a.m. we have the first call, and then we continue in the afternoon, and then because the situation actually changing every day. Every day we have new circumstances. Every day we get more understanding about the statuses that been placed on Simeon, and yes, so we are pretty much happy with the barista that deals with this case at the moment, and very thankful to him for everything that he achieved so far, but it's still a long fight to continue, and
Yeah.
we have some ongoing issues.
Yeah, sure. River Table, who's joining us again tonight. G'day, mate. Hope things all go well for you. He, along with a lot of other people, were very surprised. They thought they were, standing up the front of a bail hearing, and it turned out that it was actually a full plea hearing. So, can you just confirm that Simeon pled guilty to the two charges that he wound up facing when he stood there the second time at Burwood? He pled guilty. He didn't put up a fight to those.
Yes, he pled guilty at the early stage. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I'm having a few issues. I'm having a few if I drop out, don't hang up, so to speak. I might just have to reconnect through a different modem system, but I'll get back in a minute or two, and you can just smile politely. People will still be able to see and hear you, so you can talk if you felt the urge. But if I drop out, that's what's happening. I will reconnect. Joe Burner asks an interesting question. All right, let me put you up, Joe. He wants to know how to pronounce your name, or what your name is. So, Mrs Cossack is really your name. I call you Katya, but and most I suppose Aussies do. How do you really pronounce your name?
My full name, as per the passport, is Ekaterina, which is a long version, right? So the shorter one will be Katya, because from my point of view, it's just much easier for Aussies to pronounce.
Thank you for thinking
And
of
I
us.
also have a patronymic. I have a long name, a long patronymic, and a very long surname. So it's impossible to pronounce for any Aussie here. I just keep it short.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's great. That's great. So we know that we're looking now at a date probably in late November when Simeon will be released, barring any appeals or whatnot going forward. Now, you have, you or the legal team, somebody has put together, I think, an appeal for raising legal funds. How's that going? And do you need more? I mean, it's a lawsuit, so it's always going to cost more. It's going to the district court in New South Wales. That's where the appeal will be heard.
Yes, that's correct. I'm very thankful for all of you guys for all donations. The fund that's been set up, it's the whatever is raised is going to legal trust for the legal team, for solicitors and barristers that are dealing with this case at the moment. I cannot thank you enough for everything, for every single cent that been donated to this fund, because without this we could not ever fight this fight. So thank you. I think it's a bit job about Tony.
I think I've nearly dropped out.
Yeah, seems like Carl is having some electricity shortages. Outrage. Yeah, this weather in Sydney, in Australia now, is just Unimaginable. Yeah. Something with your internet call. Something going. Something's going there. Thank you, guys. I'm just reading all of your comments here. Thank you so much for all your support. It's just...
I'm back. So yes, I gather you were just thanking everybody for their support. I just want to tell you that I get messages every day from people who have watched either stuff on my channel or stuff on your channel or the Aussie Cossack channel, and the support, the love for you is the outpouring is huge. I'm sure you know that there are so many people willing you power and support at this time. They know you've had to leave the apartment you were living in. You've had to, I don't know how you've gone or where you've gone from there. A lot of things have changed in your life rapidly, and a lot of things that you had absolutely no control over whatsoever. You've been swept along with it, and I just want to say you are displaying immense strength and great leadership for not only women in this country but people in this movement. So you should be commended, Katia. You're doing a fabulous job.
Thank you so much, Carl. I just don't understand how anyone can do it differently. I just don't understand. For me, it's normal. What I'm doing, like this everyday fight, is normal. I am advocating for my husband. I will doing this. I know that whatever happened, he did it because he's purely, truly kind person with a big heart, a true patriot, true Australian patriot. And if he saved at least one child or one family from ruining, from traumas and from terrible things, it was not too well,
He has a lot of support. There are obviously quite a few detractors, but we all have them as well. None of us are angels, and there are plenty of trolls who come treadling around. I think there's a few floating around in the chats now. They really have no effect on me, and I know they have absolutely no effect on him. I'm sure you're the same way.
Yeah, I'm, Carl, whatever people trying to how I don't know how to explain, people trying to intimidate or abuse or somehow in bad words somehow tell about Simeon and about me, it just doesn't bother me like at all. I think now I'm not made of steel. No, it's not. It's titanium now. It's titanium. It doesn't bother me at all. Like nothing can hurt me. Literally nothing.
Just people are saying how much they are falling in love with your name and wondering how to spell it. Look back up the chat. I think River Table spelled it out there further up for folks saying that. I'm just having a bit of a look here, Katia, just to seeing what some folks are saying, seeing if there's a question in here for you anywhere. I have another one for you regardless. Now, Simeon has been... well, he and I were talking before all of this happened. We were looking at doing some fairly exciting things together going forward. Those plans haven't changed. Well, they may have changed a little bit. It's been difficult to plan with him in mind. What we are doing, though, is trying to get the Voice of Freedom on the road. And I know you get the opportunity to talk to him now occasionally. I want you to let him know that I'm getting requests all over the country for he and I to turn up and do a show together in various different places. So maybe he wants to consider a book signing tour / tour with the Voice of Freedom when he gets out. We'll show you guys some reasonably regional parts of Australia you may not have seen yet. And we'll take this show on the road and wake the country up to what's going on. So if you'd pass that along to him, I think he'd love to come and be involved.
Yeah, absolutely. Tomorrow morning. Yeah. Yeah, we can only talk in English with Simeon because all our conversations, phone conversations, are being monitored in real life by officers and recorded everything, and must be only in English because of the NSI status.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, well, I think they do that for just about everybody. But yeah, you're quite right.
Yeah, I will
It has
pass
to
it.
be in English.
Yeah, I will pass it
Yeah.
on to Simeon. He'll be excited. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I can tell you there is a huge amount of interest. Now they moved him out of segregation in the last few days. Can you tell us now what is his current state? Where, like, well, not so much. Where is he held? How is he held?
Um,
Is he still separated from everybody, or does he have access now to other inmates?
no, because of this EHRR status, why they designated Simeon? Because the inmate who is designated with this status, it prevents him from contacting other inmates and to set up a network of
I see.
like-minded people, because he's a true leader. No one
Yes.
can argue with this.
Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately, he cannot. Yeah, he cannot contact any other inmates still.
I'm told he might be developing quite a network of guards. Apparently, they're quite fond of him.
Yeah. Only,
Yeah.
contact only with the staff and with the guards.
Yeah. Look, I have a feeling that Simeon could make friends with a brick wall. So he's a fairly likable chap when you get talking to him. So I think that's great. We would love to learn more about what's going on, and I am going to be coming to Sydney this week. I'm doing a live show in Ipswich on Tuesday, but Wednesday I'll be heading to Sydney and be down there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday at this stage. And we're aiming to do live shows that whole time. Now, you and I were talking about catching up in Sydney, and doing another show together, this time sort of in the same place. Would love you to be a part of something like that if you're still willing to do that next week when I'm down. I can also tell you that Friday night might be a little far for you. We could arrange transport. In Shell Harbour, we're going to do our very first live Friday free-for-all. It'll be a live like we did last night that ran for 3 hours. We had a lot of fun. We talked about a lot of issues, but we had people dropping in left and right, people from the chat room. And next week, we're going to do it from a business. So Shell Harbour Motors have got behind the Voice of Freedom and offered their business up next Friday night. And thank you to Don and his team. We're going to be there. We're going to put on a barbecue. So if anybody's in the Shell Harbour Wollongong area and you want to come down to the Voice of Freedom next Friday night, Shell Harbour Motors, the address of which is just straight out of my head at the moment, but I will get it to you in the coming days. Come down, have a free sausage. Well, it won't be free. You're going to have to donate because at the end of the day, we can't provide the food, but we can cover the cost of it. So with a donation, you can get yourself a sausage and some sauce and maybe a drink, and we'll look forward to entertaining you that night. There might be a few little surprises. We might have the odd guest drop in, and if you felt the urge, we would love to have you come down too. I can, like I say, I can arrange transportation and security for you. Don't worry about that. So anyway, we'll talk about that off the air. You don't have to commit to it right now. But that's all coming up next week in Sydney. Patriot 101, he doesn't know about it yet. I might be camping at his place on Wednesday night. And if it's not then he might come down to Shell Harbour and we'll do his intel on Friday night down there too. Of course, Graham the Guru will be there. Dave Graham the Guru will be there. And I don't know, I might even see if I can convince Mr. Bosey to drop in for a minute or two on the channel too, just to say good day. So it's going to be one of those, round table fire, Friday night, have a beer, let's have a chat kind of sessions, Katia. So we'd love you to be part of it if you can feel you can be. That would be great. The offer is there.
Thank
Um,
you.
so going forward, what can people do now to help you? What do you need? What does Simeon need? How can the people who are watching this now and those who are watching it later on after it's been recorded? How can we assist you?
Actually, spreading the word is the best anyone can do in these circumstances.
Yeah.
Because the situation to any person with common sense is just unbelievably
Unbelievable.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when he comes out, I expect that Simeon might be on the side of or starting to work towards getting these suppression laws changed. Do you think that will be his position going forward?
Probably we will ask Simeon. Yes.
Yeah,
We
we'll have
will.
to have a talk with him about it. I'm sure he'll be sitting there planning it. That'd be great. Somebody's suggesting we have John Farnham turn up at Wollongong next Friday night. I don't know that John Farnham performs anywhere anymore. And unfortunately, the guy I used to know who you could book him through passed away, Glenn Wheatley. So, yeah, that's no fun. I'm just having a bit of a glance. No, some of the comments there. It looks like sausages are either igniting people into action or turning them off completely. So it's your way to the sausage. I might have steak. We'll see what happens. We'll see how generous Don at Shell Harbour Motors is when we get there. That's next Friday night, folks, and I'll give you more on that in the not too distant future. It's going to be a great week. We're looking forward to well, maybe some big news coming out of America, and hopefully on the home front we'll have some news there too. I will come down to Sydney this week, and we will catch up one way or the other. I'll either meet you somewhere in Sydney, and we'll do a live there. And if you want to come down Friday night to Shell Harbour, we'll figure that out and make that happen as well. So it'd be great to have you. Like I say, anything that we can do here at the Voice of Freedom and any of our listeners and viewers are more than happy to help you. I just want you to know how much love there is being expressed for you in the chat rooms and in the emails that I receive, in the comments on the videos, everything. There is a huge amount of love and support for you and for Simeon. But I don't want to discount the fact that you are also at the top of everybody's mind here. They know how hard it is. You must be doing it. So yeah. Just want to reinforce that to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone. Just helps us to go through these dark times so much. Thank you.
If you had a message to leave people with, is there anything you particularly want them to go away thinking now? What do you want out of people for the next week? Just keep sending postcards?
Yes, please, because Simeon received them from all around the world: America, Darwin, Perth, Brisbane, Melbourne, all around Sydney, from everywhere.
You also received a magnificent video from, all over Russia, as near as I can tell. Messages of support from people all over.
Yes, from all Russian cities, even from Lugansk, People's Republic, from Azerbaijan, from all republics in Russia. People just supporting, because anyone with common sense would support and think the same way, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It must be very gratifying to get that sort of support coming from your homeland.
Yes, absolutely.
Because he's made international headlines. The Russian foreign minister's press secretary has obviously issued statements on his condition as well.
Yes, it was a briefing. It was twice, actually. In June, before the sentencing, and straight after the sentencing. So it was huge support. huge support also.
Yeah, I think that's becoming evident to people, particularly who follow your Telegram channel. There are a lot of people from Russia who aren't necessarily in Russia, but living all over the world that are following this extremely closely. So, and can I just say, for a lady who didn't really want to get into social media management, you're doing a bloody good job.
Thank you. Yeah, I never
Yeah.
wanted to be a public person or anything like that, but the circumstances.
Yeah, under the circumstances, it is what it is. So, but I think your husband should be extremely proud of you and the efforts that you are putting in. And there should never be a day where you don't get flowers once he's out of jail.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He should come home to you every day and just say thank you. When he wakes up in the morning, he should say, "Good morning, darling, thank you." And when he says good night, he should kiss you good night and say thank you, because you are doing a poultice of work. You are a powerhouse, and he's very lucky to have you. He should be very thankful.
Thank you, Carl. Yeah, just once again, I don't understand how it can be differently.
Well, no, it's the way it's meant to be, the way it should be. So I think it's wonderful to see a wife support her husband in the way that you do, and I'm sure once he becomes fully aware of just how much work you've done, I'm sure he'll be very, very aware and very supportive as well. Thank you so much for coming on and having a chat tonight. I know that it's not something that you like to do. You don't want to be out in the public. I know you were very nervous. You've done a fabulous job. The people in the chat rooms love you. They wish you nothing but love and power going forward. And at any time you are always welcome here. I can't wait to meet you next week in Sydney, and we'll share a coffee and maybe a laugh, and we'll put out a little show together from wherever the hell in Sydney we wind up meeting. You better send me GPS coordinates, because I don't know Sydney at all. I'm just likely to be lost walking around near the Harbour Bridge somewhere, because it's the easiest identifiable structure. So we'll keep in touch, and we will see you one way or the other, either for our own show, or maybe you'll come down for Friday night too. It could be a bit of fun. Thank you again for coming on tonight. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Saturday night.
Thank you.
And God bless you and your family. I hope your immediate family are going well. We know that you've had some tragedy, in the months leading up to Simeon's incarceration, and still getting all over all of that. It's just a superhuman effort on your behalf. So God love you. We're with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. We'll talk again soon.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's rock!